Hi. Oh, can you hear? Okay. Hi, I'm Ava Tkaczuk, and I'm in grade 11. I often envy those who are able to use their art to heal and mend their wounds. I always expected my art to be the concrete that fills the cracks of my emotions, but instead, my art only seems to examine and explore these voids. Despite being heavily immersed in each experience that defines my art, really, each piece only feels like a careful observation from a distance. My art is a reflection of how I view the concept of a family, especially my own. Most of these stories are from before I met most of the people in this room, so for the sake of brevity, I'll share from a more recent point. My art is a reflection of how I view I just read that. In July of 2019, the summer before my 9th grade year, my father was sent to a 45-day rehabilitation program for alcoholism. This time was a major dot-connecting period in my life, as information about my father's addiction came flooding in. Unusual childhood recollections transformed into traumatic childhood memories, as pieces of the puzzle would float into place. Grade 10 was the first time I was pushed to collect and examine these puzzle pieces. We were assigned the Heritage Project. We were told to make a piece of art about who we are and where we came from. Looking back on my life, I realized that the stories that my mother and father had told me about our family's immigrations weren't my own. I realized that I came from my own story, a story that was built on the fault lines of an ongoing earthquake, an earthquake that had crumbled the foundations of what I thought I knew. I made my Heritage Project to reflect upon the earthquake. I make art about what I've experienced with family. Heritage was a kickstart to this process. This piece and its contents surface themes and topics that run through all of my art. This year, I created what I thought to be the conclusion to my Heritage piece, a piece that depicts someone emerging from the mess left behind by a tornado and the process of cleaning up that mess. This painting was to symbolize the ending to a storm, or more specifically, the ending to my storm. I was wrong. As it turned out, hitting the eye of a storm is nowhere near the same thing as reaching its end. After this unfortunate realization, I was pushed to look for ways to express my feelings about the earthquake. I reflected upon my shaky fault line. I noticed that this fault line runs on infinitely and that I'm not the only one who resides here. This discovery led me to reevaluate my relationships with the people who also happen to be in the same storm, on the same rift. I started to paint portraits of one very specific boy, a boy who I share more with than anyone else, a last name, a dividing bedroom wall, a childhood. He's the only person in the world who will ever come close to understanding my storm and my earthquake because he lives in the same one. As I've watched him grow and mature, I've seen him connect the same dots that I was forced to connect. My mother and I have slowly introduced him to the concept of my father's addiction and mental illness, and I see that during these discussions, he reflects upon his own experiences. Seeing this led me to create a series, or at the beginning of a series, called the When series, portraits that capture moments in time when. As I take a step back to look at my body of work, I realize that my art hasn't helped me board up the shattered windows of my broken home, nor has it stopped the constant rumbling from beneath the surface. I do, however, believe that it has guided me to understand what is important to me in my life: family. Whether these members are biological or chosen, the people who have helped keep me company through my storms and earthquakes will forever provide me with reason to continue wandering the edges of my infinitely long and shaky fault lines. Thank you.